Stanford University.
Welcome. Welcome to Stanford Medicine's 12th Annual Contemplation by Design Summit. I'm Dr. Tia Ridge, founder and director of Contemplation by Design, and it is my honor to introduce our next teacher, Caverly Morgan. Caverly will be guiding us in an iPause guided practice titled Releasing Striving in Practice and in Life. Caverly Morgan is a meditation teacher who blends the original spirit of Zen with a modern non-dual approach, drawing from her 8 years of training in a silent Zen monastery. She is the author of the book, The Heart of Who We Are, Realizing Freedom Together, as well as a kid's book about mindfulness. Caverly is the founder of Peace in Schools, a nonprofit that created the nation's first 4-credit mindfulness class in public high schools. She is also the founder of Realizing Freedom Together, a nonprofit organization dedicated to making practices that lead to liberation for all, accessible to all. She has been teaching contemplative practice since 2001. Caverly leads meditation retreats, workshops, and online classes internationally. Please join me now in warmly welcoming Caverly Morgan for this iPause guided practice.
Tia, thank you. And friends, thank you. I feel your energetic welcoming, and I really am delighted to be here. Thank you for coming to practice with us. I know that many of you are in the middle of a very busy and full workday. I appreciate how in this summit we're weaving these teachings into our everyday worlds. It's important because that's the world in which these teachings will be most effective. So for those of you on your lunch break, or for those of you who may just have a day off and be able to treat your day like a retreat day, either way, welcome, and thank you for practicing so that as we move through the world, we can be moving and acting from the recognition of who we truly are. In the name of this recognition, may this practice be an opportunity to experience the heart of who we are. So come now into any position that works for you for this guided meditation. As you might imagine, given that the theme of this meditation is releasing striving, I'm not going to ask you to sit in a specific posture. I'm not going to ask you to sit in a way that emphasizes the discipline inherent in a concentration practice. The theme of this guided experience is that of resting. May your nervous system enjoy an opportunity to rest. Sometimes in meditation practice, there's a lot of focus on awakeness, being awake in the world. In my own monastic training, there was commitment to focus, to a type of discipline in the name of achieving some, what I felt at the time was a state of awakeness. Here, rather than focusing on that kind of awakeness, we're focusing on the awakeness that's ever present, and we can rest into this awakeness. It's not something we attain, it's not a state we have to apply our effort to reach and then hold on to. So, folks who enjoy exploring lucid dreaming or being awake while being asleep, here we're letting ourselves access the peace of sleep, the peace we experience when the mind is divested from the objects that we're normally focusing on. We're bringing the peace of sleep into our awake life. How do we do this? First, notice where your attention is in this very moment. Notice without judgment. What is the attention landing on? Perhaps it's the sound of my voice. Perhaps it's sensation in the body. Perhaps it's on the breath, a subtle object. Or perhaps it's on a more crude object like perseverating thoughts about the future. Again, notice if there's any judgment. And if there is, see it. Name it as judgment. Allow for it, let it be. And then return the attention home to presence. Those are the 4 steps of our snap practice. See it, name it, allow it, and return to presence. I wish to be clear about the difference to me in returning to presence versus directing the attention to the present moment. If I direct my attention to a subtle object in the present moment, it's as though as I'm directing the attention to one thing versus the 10,000 things, that various distractions that might be here now in my life. That can be a very important concentration practice to do that, to steady the attention and to feel the empowerment of being able to place the attention where you want it to be. For today's practice, given our theme of releasing striving, rather than directing the attention to an object, even a quiet, grounded in the present moment, subtle object like the breath, free the object and let the attention sink into being, into awareness itself. So we're consciously allowing the attention to move in what may be for you the opposite direction of how it's moving habitually throughout your day. If you picture a flashlight and you allow the light of the flashlight to be a stand-in for your attention, notice how the light of the flashlight is usually being directed out to an object. With no practice at all, perhaps just bouncing from thing to thing to thing. With a concentration practice, we're directing that light to one thing and learning to hold it there. With this approach, we're freeing the thing and we're allowing the attention to soften, open, and to rest. in awareness itself. We're allowing the light to draw back into its source. In this case, the flashlight. As the attention settles in awareness in its home, we're freed from the objects that sometimes obscure our experience of being aware of being aware. This is presence. Being aware of being aware. Feel the difference between directing the attention to the present moment, practicing, steadying it there. As mentioned, a valuable practice. But feel the difference now between that and allowing the attention to come home to presence. Allowing the attention to come home to presence takes virtually no effort. If we could say there's any effort needed at all, it would be in the realm of remembrance. directing the attention, for example, to the intention to remember being, to remember presence as we move through our day, to remember to come home. The identity of the seeker and the striver has more room to steer the ship, to drive the car, as it were, when that seeker can assess your striving, saying things like, that was a good meditation after we've been disciplined with our attention. Or that was a bad meditation. My mind was all over the place. Your being, awareness itself, is not disturbed by a busy mind. You can rest in being no matter the content of your experience. Prove this to yourself now. No matter what thought is here. No matter what emotion may be here. Awareness, being aware of itself, is ever present. You are this. So in this approach, we're not getting rid of the one who strives so hard in practice to find enlightenment. We're seeing through that identity to the reality that shines in the heart of that identity. What is the reality, the heart of this identity? That this part of us, the one who strives, arises in awareness. That we know this identity through awareness, through being aware of this part. And that this identity is made of awareness. So rather than identifying with the one who strives, we can release the attention. Free the attention to rest in presence. As we rest in presence, not only is there nothing to do, there's no one to do it. We're free to simply be. Simply being aware of being aware. Letting awareness itself shine. Releasing the temptation to be aware of something, and particularly to strive to be good at something. So instead of the attention moving out, it's resting in. But not an old definition of inside ourselves, meaning inside this body mind. But rather in to awareness, vast awareness, borderless being. The last portion of this meditation will be in silence. If you feel the habitual pull for the attention to move out, to focus on objects, not bad, not wrong, see that temptation. Name it. Ah, habit of mind. Allow it. Remember, your being is untarnished by the activity of the mind of limitation. And then gently and lovingly return to presence. Again, note the difference, not returning the attention to an object in the present moment, but rather sinking the mind into the heart of awareness. Returning to being. Being, being, being. Awareness. Aware of itself. Friends, as we begin the gentle transition into the rest of our day, take a moment to see yourself moving through your day while remaining in touch with being. So as the attention moves to and between the objects of your day, the circumstances, the events, the people, the things, see the attention freely moving in that direction while keeping your seat in presence. While remaining grounded in your being. The attention free to move in any direction. And always invited to come home, to being, to presence, even if for brief moments at a time. Thank you, friends.